Hey guys, Bill Streamintel. I'm out here today on the water, and the biggest thing is as everybody knows, I designed the full line of SPRO BBZ-1 rats, the 50, 40, and 30s the last few years for SPRO, in addition to the full line of swim baits and the fat flies the last 10 years for SPRO and SPRO Europe. And the biggest thing is when you're coming out with a good quality bait, you know, the performance of that bait, how it works and everything else also dictates on the equipment you use with it. So if you're going to have the best bait out there, you're trying to catch the biggest fish of your lifetime, your personal best, win tournaments, or just have fun, you want to make sure the equipment that you're using in conjunction with those lures are the best you can find. It was my goal to go out there, start searching. If you've guys seen me in the past few years, I've really been on the lookout for quality equipment, which is the line, rod, and reel combination altogether, that will enhance the performance of these baits and actually give me a better hit to hook up to catch ratio. The last 3 or 4 months, I went out, I got me a Daiwa catalog. I started going through it, and the reason I picked Daiwa, some of their technology the last few years has really excelled. I mean, they're really getting into the game. They've been around forever, but their new zillion rods and reels, their Lexa, their equipment and the technology they have behind it is really phenomenal, and I had to put it to the test. So the last 3 months, you guys watch my YouTube channels, I've been on the water pounding these things and trying to find the right combination, rod and reel, to enhance these lures. And the one I'm going to talk about today, now this is going to be a 3-part system, so make sure you watch each part of these, you know, in the 3, and I'm going to talk about basically the Rat 50, 40, and 30 in conjunction with the best rod and reel setup that I could find. And then this is just not for the rats. The neat thing about what I'm doing with the Daiwa is I'm trying to find rod and reel combinations that are universal. You know, if they work really good for the BBZ-1 Rat 50, I want it to work really good with the 6-inch. If you switch out a reel, I want the same rod to be the best frog rod you've ever used. So that's what we're doing today, and we're talking about the Lexa 300 and the Zillion 741 XHXB, and this is the best setup I could find right now, period. I mean, I have put this through the test for throwing swim baits and rats. Now I'm going to go through a little bit about it and the reason why I do certain things and the line and the combinations I'm using, so that way when you go out and you buy the equipment, you know that it's the best you can find and it's going to work flawlessly. Now what I did is I looked for about a 7.5 foot rod, so I got the Zillion 741. I paired it up with the Lexa 300, you know, HD, and this is an 8-to-1 gear ratio. Now, I'm really enjoying, we didn't have this back in the day when I started swim bait fishing, you know, 25, 30 years ago. What I love about the 8-to-1, it brings in, this one right here brings in about 36 inches per revolution. With 2 winds of the crank handle, you're bringing in 6 foot of line. I mean, you can't even swing that quick. I mean, the hookup ratio when they touch it is phenomenal. The rod paired with this loads up well. You have a good hook to catch ratio. And what I'm doing is, if the minimums that I would look at is, I'm using Maxima fishing line. Minimum line for the BBZ-1 Rat 50 or the 6-inch SPRO BBZ-1, I'd be looking at 18-pound Maxima Ultra Green on mono for a minimum. I wouldn't go anything less than that. And then for the braided line, I'm using Maxima 50-pound test braid. Now you can go up with that if you want, but these are the minimums I would recommend. And this combination with the line capability of bringing it in, awesome drag setup. I love the system. I'm a power fisherman, so I can bring up a lot of line when I'm going down the bank on my trolling motor, my Motor Guide X5. If I'm on high and I'm reeling as fast as I can, I could still keep the bait working properly. And if I get a hit, I still can reel faster and bring that bait into the fish's mouth and get a better hook set. Now the interesting thing is when you guys use this, and I want you to remember this right now, when you use the 8-to-1 with the rat, since you're bringing in so much line, it almost forces you to fish slower. If you start reeling quicker, it's more pressure. It's not a low gear ratio reel. So if you like it to not be as much pressure on it when you reel in, you know, they do have the Lexa 300 in a 7-to-1. and that's what I would recommend for guys that are doing that. But this is going to be a universal stick as well, because I'm gonna throw the same thing out there calico fishing with some small tatty 45s. This absolutely the 6-inch BBZ for calicos and sandies and stuff around the bay. So this is the the ultimate setup for the SPRO BBZ-1 Rat 50, the 6-inch BBZ-1. And I want to give you another little tidbit about this. I've also been using, let me find the rod. Here's the same rod right here. And what I did is I put the Daiwa Zillion HD on it. Same exact rod, but I just changed the reel a little bit. And it is probably one of my favorite frog rods as well. So this rod is very universal. Just by switching out a reel, I could do a lot of different things with it. But specifics on what guys are looking for, this is a killer system. So make sure you check out Daiwa.com. There's a bunch of rod and reel setups. I'm going to ICAST soon, and I'm going to look at some more of their product, pick up some more stuff, buy it, and do some more testing. But for the last 3 months, like I said, you've seen a lot of fish catches on this exact setup right here, and you cannot go wrong. So right now, I'm saying it here at the theBBZtv, this Daiwa Zillion with the Lexa 300, this is money. Set it up with some Maxima braid or ultra green mono, and you will not go wrong. Now, in addition to this, these are like tutorials, so you're not going to see a lot of fish catches here. We're going to do those and other things. When you get tapped with these, the reasons why these rods, especially on the 8-inch, when they're hitting a bait in the bigger sizes, and you've seen videos, a lot of times they'll come up and they'll just suck in the hook, or they'll bump it. When you feel anything on these baits with this rod and reel setup, on the bigger stuff, the 50, the Rat 50, and the 6-inch BBZ, I'm swinging. I'm actually, I'm laying it into it, because they're not eating this bait a lot of times. They're nudging it, they're popping it, they're biting it just in pieces, and if they lick it, I'm trying to stick it. I'm trying to really move some line really quick, and that's going to go into the other rod and reel systems for the smaller baits and why I'm choosing it. So I hope you guys like this. I know it's a little lengthy, but I get so many emails and so many questions on what's the perfect rod, what's the perfect reel, what's the perfect line for throwing the Rat 50 in the 6-inch. Well, this is the perfect rod and reel system with the line. This is absolutely money, and you're going to be seeing me use a lot more of these as we go further, because I put another big order in, and I've dropped a lot of money into these, so that means I definitely have faith, and I'm enjoying this rod and reel system. So hope you guys like this. Stay tuned. The next part, we're going to cut these down in segments so it's not too long. We're going to talk about the SPRO BBZ-1 Rat 40 and the rod and reel system I used on that, and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So make sure you guys check in often at theBBZ.com and the theBBZtv, and we'll try to get you the best information out on the water. Hope you enjoy this, and we'll catch you next time.